My butt hurts.
There's the blooper.
I did exercise yesterday. Oh, come on, Paul. Alrighty. Another week.
Yeah. Howdy, folks. For those of you wondering why we're laughing, Rita said something on the way in, and I said, oh, there's the blooper, and I don't know whether or not I'm actually going to include it at the end of the video or just leave it in here at the beginning.
You're not putting it in. Oh my god.
Don't worry, we'll edit that out.
Oh god. Every week there's a new one. So what do we have this week?
Kazuki, what are you
the
up
baby.
to? Yeah. Oh, yeah, because every week people want to know what we're drinking. And what was it the first week?
The first week I had some cognac.
The cognac, yeah.
Yes, and you had a beer. She's stealing our homework.
Kazuki's eaten my crib sheet.
She is.
So, yeah, and I had, that was it, Hobgoblin Gold. And everybody was very much approving of the beer I was drinking. And then the next week, it was Kronenberg 1664, and everybody was appalled that I was drinking a French beer. And this week,
it's no better.
Bud Light. there's a pattern emerging.
Soon enough, we'll have Foster's.
Oh God, no, that's
and
never.
Kolsch.
No, it's never going to be that bad. No. I'd rather drink my own piss.
There is a brewery here in town.
Yeah, they're probably shut down.
Yeah, they are shut down at the moment. They're actually doing local deliveries, by the way, and the prices are really friendly.
I'll have to check them out. There's a very good little microbrewery in town, and they do proper ale.
It's
good
called
stuff.
Acorn Brewery.
I don't know.
I'm almost sure that's the name. And their ale, it's out of this world. It's really good.
If you go into the toilet.
Yes, that's what I wanted to tell them. Tell them. No, you tell them. You're better.
They every now and then they throw the doors open and they basically just serve beer to people. And in the toilet for the guests, there's a sign next to the flush on the toilet, and it says "Depress handle to recycle Foster's."
It's the Foster's pump actuator.
Foster's pump actuator.
Yeah.
Sorry, Australia, but Foster's is piss. Yeah. I used to like Castlemaine 4X actually.
What is that?
It's an Australian lager.
Huh.
It's not too
Never
bad.
heard of.
All the Australians are going, "Oh my God, Castlemaine's piss." But yeah, Bud Light. Why Bud Light? I decided I should probably try to, get some light beer, so I'm not drinking the full strength stuff all the time.
You're going very healthy lately.
Yeah, I'm on decaffeinated coffee now as well.
Yeah, I can taste that.
I quite like the taste of this stuff that we got, and I thought, wow, what the hell? Why not? Let's try to find a light lager that actually, doesn't taste like piss. Bud Light is not it. What was the other one that we had?
We have Budweiser in bottle.
No. The last light beer that I tried, which I didn't really like that much, but it was better than this. I can't remember what it was. I'll probably remember halfway through the video.
16.
No, they don't do a light version of that.
Or
if they do.
Anyway,
so we just realised that. What's today's date? We're recording this on the 10th. You'll see this on the 11th, which means that 2 days after this video gets published.
Yeah.
Is the 5th anniversary of you arriving in Britain.
It's true.
5 years.
It's true.
So what we're going to do to celebrate, Rita? Shall we stay in and watch a video?
I suppose so.
Maybe you'll stream something and I'll play some Elite Dangerous.
Yeah.
We'll do that in mark 5 years of you being here.
One from each room. Can't wait for this to be over.
I don't know if you've noticed. Hopefully you've noticed. If you haven't, you're all in trouble. But Rita takes a lot of care and attention in getting ready to sit down and record these videos.
Well, it's your channel, so I try to, pump her up a little bit. When I'm live streaming, I don't care. I don't put makeup. I'm mostly in pajamas. Like, what you see is what you get. But when I'm in your channel, yes.
Takes her an hour and a half to
No.
maybe 2 hours just to get ready to sit in that chair.
This has become the one time in a week I get to wear normal people's clothes.
The thing is, for the first video, I thought, all right, I'll put some proper trousers on instead of sweatpants. And then the second video, I was like, oh, I'll put some jeans on, it'll be fine. This week, nah, I don't care. just chilling, relaxing. Slippers, sweatpants, fresh t-shirt, of course. Like this one?
Nostromo, yeah?
Yes.
You already had that one when I moved in.
Oh, wow. T-shirts. It's been around a while. Anyway, shall we take a look and see what...
Yes.
Let's have a look at the
There's
news.
one news this week I'm very excited about.
Yeah. Be patient. We'll get to it. We'll get to it. I think I know what it is she's getting all hot and flustered about. So, probably not great news that there isn't an awful lot of gaming news. And we said this last week, we said this the week before, and everybody said, oh, Jingles, but what about the Below Zero? There's been a Subnautica Below Zero. There has been a huge update for it. Why didn't I talk about that? Why hasn't there been a Subnautica video? I plan to do a Subnautica video. It's like video, but not English. I downloaded the update, installed it, played it, and the first 2 minutes were amazing. Like, wow, this is awesome. And that's basically the only thing that's changed, aside from the fact that there's now no more voice acting. They haven't re-recorded all the voice lines, so it's just text. The only thing that's changed in any meaningful way is there's a new 2-minute long intro where you don't work for the Altera Corporation anymore. You're trying to get on the planet under the nose of the Altera Corporation. They're basically, like we said, they hired a new scriptwriter, and she's completely rewritten the plot. And that basically, at the moment, amounts to a new, different 2-minute intro. And some new voice lines.
But it's still the same gameplay.
That haven't been recorded yet. The gameplay's exactly the same. So there's not actually an awful lot to see.
I think they should put more resources into making it co-op. That would be amazing. I would love to play that game with you.
I would love to play that game in co-op. So, Unknown Worlds, if you're watching, you probably not. But co-ops of Norfolk.
Yes.
It's for winners. It's the sort of thing that keeps a game going beyond its normal sell-by date.
Yes.
Because we were talking about, what was it? I think it was the first episode of this new format. I was talking about how I'd installed a shit ton of mods and was replaying Fallout 4.
You were playing the other day as well.
Yeah.
Skyrim.
Yeah, I did the same with Skyrim, which is like 9 years old now.
About then, yeah.
The reason that there's a reason why companies like Bethesda and other developers, Activision, Electronic Arts, blah blah, you name it, they don't like that sort of thing. Because I'm still playing Fallout 4 with mods 5-6 years after its release, and Bethesda isn't making a penny out of it.
Yeah.
And that's why they're all switching, or trying to switch to these kind of games as online services like Fallout 76, where they can continue monetizing it and selling new stuff to you. They hate the fact that modders, because Bethesda famously tried to monetize other people's mods.
Yes, there was.
Do you remember that?
Yeah, I remember that.
On the one hand, you could say that they were giving mod authors a potential income by selling the mods for them, but they were taking a cut of it, of course. So, but Fallout 4 and other games, I'm sure, of course. So if you head over to the Nexus, it's a website, they don't just do Fallout and Skyrim mods, they do mods available. You can get stuff for World of Tanks there.
I've noticed.
Yeah.
I did install the Nexus after you recommended it.
Yeah, they got all. It's an amazing resource for old games, long past their sell-by date, that you can keep playing and enjoying in new ways. And of course, the developers don't see a penny from it, so they all absolutely hate it.
I mean, it definitely keeps their games alive for longer.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, I say Fallout 4, still playing it. Enjoying it in all new different ways. I mean, the main plot and quests are the same, but there's also plot and quest enhancements and mods that you can download and install as well.
What it is? It's Skyrim 6. The name of the next, not the Elder Scrolls 6.
Yes.
Yes, it's only coming in 2000. 25, 26, something like that. I can't remember the date.
Why would anybody care this early? Why would anybody care this early? They've announced that it's coming in 5 years. I mean,
yeah, they've announced it like it's coming in a long run. But what I'm trying to say is usually when they're out of sight, they're out of mind.
No.
And in a sense, I think Skyrim, it's one of those games that is immortal, just because it has all that modding capability.
I just remembered something.
And you can just...
Go on.
I don't think that modding is that much of a bad thing, because it allows your company, your product, to extend its lifespan. It's very unfortunate what they did with trying to monetize mods, from people.
So what you're saying is, if it wasn't for the mod community, people would have forgotten that Skyrim and Fallout existed.
Pretty much.
Yeah, that's a good point.
I mean, for example, Star Wars Battlefront 2, the first two good one.
Yeah.
Good game for the time. It was a really good game. I still play it every now and then. But because it was so old, it's over 10 years old now. People forget about it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And we mentioned last week that there's you can now play Star Wars Battlefront 2, the old one, 2004 I think it came out.
Yes, I think yes.
You can play it multiplayer again. There's a new update for it. So.
Yeah.
Speaking of, why didn't you comment on things from the last week's episode? Was Assassin's Creed Valhalla? Jingles, why no news about the Assassin's Creed Valhalla gameplay trailer? Because there's no fucking gameplay in it. Were you not paying attention?
I was just paying attention to the male protagonist.
Yeah, who looks an awful lot like suspiciously like potentially copyright infringing, I forgot his name now. Ragnar Lothbrok.
Oh, Ragnar Lothbrok, yeah.
Yeah, from the TV show Vikings. He looks a lot like that character, doesn't he?
I'm not complaining.
Yeah. There was no gameplay in it. But not Bethesda, sorry, we're talking about Ubisoft. Here's our new gameplay trailer. Where's the gameplay? It's just a bunch of pre-rendered cinematics. I mean, if the game actually looks like that, amazing. But there's no way it will. Unless we're just talking about a whole bunch of quick-time press F to pay respects type gameplay. But yeah, it's just Ubisoft. Ubisoft lie. But then they're not special in that regard. All the big publishers are lying.
To be honest, what was the Assassin's Creed before Odyssey?
Origins. Oh yeah, they lied about that one as well in the game. The gameplay trailer for Assassin's Creed Odyssey, Origins, featured zero gameplay in it. So I don't know why everybody's surprised that Bethesda are lying. Oh, Bethesda. Sorry.
Close enough.
I mean,
Yeah.
that statement is true, but we're talking about Ubisoft here, because they all lie. They all tell massive porky pies. They say, no, we've got no plans to announce such and such a game, and then a week later at E3 they announce such and such a game. They just lie. It's what they do.
Yeah.
Don't believe a thing until you've read a review or played it for yourself. Simple as that. I mean, I'm sure I'll probably end up getting Assassin's Creed Valhalla, and I'm sure it will probably be pretty good.
I think it will be like Odyssey, just slightly more updated in terms of graphics, because that's much. What is the name of the other one again? I forgot. Origins, that's it. Because between Origins and Odyssey,
Black Flag before that,
there's barely no difference between the game. The only thing that changes is pretty much the graphics.
Yeah.
So I'm expecting to have Odyssey just slightly better, though they did say that there may be naval battles, but so there is in Odyssey.
Well, there have been naval battles in Assassin's Creed games for the last 5-6 years.
Yeah, it's just what I saw popping on the news.
Big deal.
Yes.
Unless they mean they're going to allow you to command an actual fleet. But yeah, I mean, incremental improvements. There's no revolutionary new game features in any of these Assassin's Creed games. The biggest change, I think, was with Assassin's Creed Origins, when they basically turned it into Far Cry. Because that's what Ubisoft do. They take existing franchises and shoehorn them into open world gameplay.
You can really see the similarities, to be honest.
Yeah. I mean, and I don't mind that, because I actually quite enjoy that kind of game. I loved all the Far Cry games. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5.
I got really bored. It was the same thing over and over again.
That's a
And it's my kind of game.
Yeah, that's a very familiar complaint with that type of game, particularly the Ubisoft games. The gameplay loop of going out, taking an outpost, unlocking missions from the outpost, raising your influence in the area. I think they did the same thing in Just Cause as well. The open world style games, it's a very...
You can see who's making it for sure.
It's a very addictive gameplay loop. But what I tend to find is that I'll sit there and I will play it for hours and hours and hours and hours. It's very Moorish, as an expression we used to use in the Navy, something like, just a little bit more. It's very Moorish. And then I'll stop playing and realise I've spent 6 hours playing it, and then the next day I don't feel the urge to play again.
Yeah.
And then the next day I don't feel the urge to play again. I'll have a go, and I'm there for another 6 hours. It's a very compulsive gameplay loop, but it's not the kind of thing where you get excited about playing. But it's that little, I'll just do this little bit extra, and well, I've done that, so this needs doing now. They know what they're doing.
Yeah.
This is why they're shoehorning this open world gameplay style thing into every single title they produce, whether or not that title actually fits the gameplay. But people buy it, regardless of how shit it is.
One thing I hope they do...
Ghost Recon Breakpoint, we're looking at you.
One thing I hope they do is to make better DLCs for Valhalla, because the DLCs for Odyssey, they were pretty lame, and I was so excited for them.
I like the Fates of Atlantis DLC. But there was a bunch of DLC, like the first one that they did, didn't change anything.
No.
It just, I can't even remember the name of the protagonist. It was a Persian king who was in exile and was trying. It was a rebel. Anyway, they basically just took the bad guys in the base game and gave them a different colour scheme and a different name, and it was exactly the same.
Yes.
Nothing new. It was like, try harder, please.
One thing I wish they added would be perhaps extensions, because while traveling while traveling throughout the world, and by the way, I'm 99% completion in Assassin's Creed Odyssey.
Oh yeah,
yes,
same.
I did everything.
But
pretty much.
what is it? Because we're completionists.
Yeah.
Where's that 1%? What is it that I haven't done? I could never find it.
It's usually the little pockets of crystals you need to catch and so on.
Oh god, no, screw that.
I did went around and collected half of them, but I just got tired. Anyways, while traveling through the world and going explorations, getting to the ship and fighting and so on, I found a lot of areas that were completely empty, and it was so immersion killing, and that was clearly DLC area content.
Yeah. Around Thermopylae, where the 300 happened, the big bay and all of the mountains, and it was nothing. Absolutely.
Just
the second I got there, I thought I'll explore. It's a fairly historically significant area. And beyond Thermopylae itself, or Thermopylae, however you pronounce it, I don't know, I'm not Greek. Nothing. And straight away I thought, future DLC.
Yeah, DLC area.
And sure enough, the very next DLC, all of that suddenly got populated.
Something I was also hoping for them to add was to add more mythical creatures. But it was just Cyclops after Cyclops after Cyclops,
Yeah. Well,
that was...
Fates Atlantis DLC fixed that one for you.
Yes, definitely.
Well, anyway, so we touched on this briefly in last week's episode.
Oh dear.
The Last of Us 2 and Naughty Dog has been very, very naughty because obviously there was the huge leak, gigabytes and gigabytes, hours of gameplay leaked, which totally spoiled the story. And I'm not going to repeat it here because, one, I haven't actually watched most of it myself, although I've caught the bullet points, and I don't want to spoil it for anybody who is actually looking forward to it. But the reaction from Naughty Dog and Sony to the leaks, anybody who was re-uploading video, fair enough, copyright strike. It's a bit of a twat's move, but they're perfectly within the rights to do so. But then they started going after people who were uploading videos and talking on Twitch about the copyright strikes without actually discussing any of the leaked content without showing any of the leaked content, talking about any of the leaked content, just talking about Sony and Naughty Dog's reaction. And they started getting hit.
Yeah, I saw that.
So, I mean, The Last of Us was a really good game on PlayStation. An amazingly good game. Naughty Dog were the people that did the Assassin's Creed on the Brain, the Uncharted games as well.
Yes.
And I was, based on the strength of, because I played Uncharted 4, I haven't played any of the other Uncharted games, and I quite liked it. Again, it had that open world gameplay loop, well, not quite as open as games like Far Cry, for example. Hello, Juicy.
Yeah. She was looking for attention.
Yeah. And it was okay, I quite liked it. And The Last of Us was amazing, and I was really looking forward to The Last of Us 2. But based on what Sony and Naughty Dog have been doing, that game can go and choke on a big bag of dick as far as I'm concerned.
Yeah.
Absolutely no way. I wouldn't touch it with a 10-foot pole now.
There has been, how can I say in English? I think more and more time passes, more gaming companies are becoming... clear this up in English for me, because it's hard for me to phrase this. Basically, when the mobile Diablo game came out, don't you have mobile games? Don't you like mobile games, or don't you have phones, something like that? There has been that attitude a lot lately with gaming companies.
Yeah, like they're doing you a favour.
Yes.
That takes me back to Star Wars Galaxies. Go back a while now.
Oof.
15, 20 years.
Was I even still alive? I mean, yet alive?
Barely. Funnily enough, this was Sony again. Star Wars Galaxies was this amazing sandbox Star Wars MMO. And it was amazing not because of anything that the game developers did, but because it was a sandbox MMO. The community made it awesome. Also, it helped that the game developers designed it so there was something like 24 different we'll call them character classes, but they were actually professions. And the way it worked was you could have a certain number of skill points, and to completely master a profession would take X number of skill points, which meant that you could completely master 2 advanced professions and get mastery of another basic profession with maybe a couple of points spare. So you would have people working out combinations of different character professions. So you'd have like rifleman / creature handler with a guy riding around in composite armour with a T-21 blaster rifle on the back of a Rancor that he'd tamed. Right, and it was just amazing the stuff you could do. And there was a lot of synergy between the different professions. And the crafting in it was awesome. The crafting especially is one of the things that really made the game amazing. Because, for example, number of planets in the game. Tatooine, for example. So you had the big settlements like Mos Eisley and the capital Bestine, which was mentioned briefly in the movies and in the books. Places like Mos Espa, which was in the prequels. Tosche Station. Oh, not Tosche. Tosche Station wasn't there. Tosche Station was briefly mentioned in Star Wars. When they were Luke, I need you to fix the vaporators on the ridge. Oh, I was going to head into Tosche Station and pick up some power converters. You can waste time with your friends when your chores are done. So, we built Tosche Station. I was part of an Imperial Guild, and one of the professions in the game was architect.
Yeah.
And the architect would build houses and furniture.
And there was like professions between players. It was everything specific, like, how can I say, like one person only could specify in architecture, or the person would specify only in cooking, or...
No, they were different. A cook was a profession. Fashion designer.
Yes, I remember you saying this.
Or tailor was a profession, and you could specialise. I mean, I had a tailoring shop on just outside Theed on Naboo, and I specialised in weddings.
Okay.
Yeah, wedding dresses, suits for the groom, wedding rings, all that sort of stuff. And I was making millions out of people getting married in the game. And then I switched to shipwright with the Jump the Light Speed expansion, and I was one of the probably top 3 shipwrights on my server because I prepped well in advance went out surveying for minerals and getting all the best resources so I could churn out the best ships. And it was amazing. It's absolutely amazing. You'd have player politicians, which was a profession, who would manage and run the cities, allocating zoning so people could build houses here, industrial stuff there, and you would have these huge cities, bigger than any of the, bigger than Mos Eisley, for example, out in the middle of the desert. So in the Valley of the Winds, not far from Jabba's palace, we built Toshi Station, and it was amazing. But the devs clearly decided that this whole open world sandbox style thing, it wasn't making them enough money because the 24 different character classes, when you could have, you look at World of Warcraft that had something like 6 or 7 classes available at the beginning, clearly defined roles, and they wanted it to be more like that, but they couldn't just make it like that, or they could have, but they would have upset everybody. So they started asking questions like, please fill in these surveys. Would you like combat to be easier? Loaded questions like the American author Bill Bryson mentioned this when I think it was Delta Airlines. He got on board a flight one day, just a domestic flight from New Hampshire to Texas, whatever. Where's the food? Oh, we don't serve food on the flight anymore. Well, why the hell not? Because you said you didn't want any. I'm pretty bloody sure I didn't. I would remember. Well, yeah, we did a survey and everybody said that they wanted cheaper flights. So we stopped serving food to give you what you wanted. You asked for this. Oh, right, it's that kind of you asked for it.
Yeah.
And they did the same thing in Star Wars Galaxies. They started putting surveys out with these loaded questions like, would you like crafting to be streamlined and easier? Because the crafting grind was a massive pain in the arse. Would you like combat to be easier? And armed with these, overwhelming, yeah, sure, responses, they introduced this thing called the combat upgrade.
Yeah.
Which overnight turned one of the most complex and satisfying combat and crafting systems, and bloody hell, cat, calm down, into a poor man's knockoff of World of Warcraft.
Yeah.
And everybody hated it. But this wasn't enough. They had to get rid of those 24 character classes because everybody wanted to be a Jedi. And becoming a Jedi in Star Wars Galaxies was ridiculously hard. I mean, every character had the potential of becoming a Jedi, but nobody knew what they had to do to unlock Jedi.
All right.
For example, master a profession, a specific profession, and it was this would be just one of the things that you'd have to do, and it was different for every player. And there are 24 professions, so you would have people mastering every profession in the game just to find the one that they needed to unlock. It was one of the steps that they had to do to become a Jedi. And then when they finally did it, they become a Jedi Padawan, and their powers were terrible, absolutely shit. Becoming a Jedi initially made you far weaker than you originally were, but the trick was every time you did anything Jedi-ish, pulled out a lightsaber, used a force power, and somebody saw you do it, your name went on the bounty hunter terminals.
Uh-oh.
And player bounty hunters would come looking for you. It was an amazing system. And then they brought out the new game experience, and overnight you could start as a Jedi. The thing was, if you went through the grind before the new game experience and eventually became a Jedi Knight, you were as hard as nails. And it was, I don't know if it was worth it, but you earned the title Jedi Knight. What are you doing? Bloody cats. Yeah, you earned that title, and then they brought out the new game experience, and you could basically roll a Jedi as a starting character, but you were never going to be any more or less powerful than anybody else. It was a bit like Star Wars: The Old Republic, where you got 6 different types of Jedi to choose from, and and the game died.
I mean, it's the same as kind of nowadays. Everyone gets a medal.
Yeah, everybody gets a medal.
Yes.
Everybody wins.
That literally takes all the fun away because there is absolutely no effort to achieve something. You just get it granted.
Well, you haven't achieved anything.
Yeah.
The achievement becomes meaningless.
But the thing is, gaming companies, they see a game more like a cash machine.
Of course, yes.
And they want to be able to make money out of that cash machine for as long as they can, for as much as they can.
Yeah, this is why they introduced the new game experience in Star Wars Galaxies, because they looked at World of Warcraft and how easy World of Warcraft was. And Star Wars Galaxies was a tough game. The profession grinds. For example, to become a tailor, a master tailor, you might have to make, individually, by hand, 4,000 plastine jackets.
Yeah.
4,000. You're sitting there with a macro for 3 hours, just, for 3 nights, every night in a row. That's all you're doing, just repeating the macro. I mean, it was stupid. But when you got there, you could command your own prices. It was just amazing. It was worth it, barely. But they were only getting the kind of players who were seriously dedicated. And by the way, Kevin Smith plays Star Wars Galaxies. There's a Star Wars Galaxies emulator, so you need your original discs to play, or you have to have your original account to play. But you can still play it, and apparently Kevin Smith plays on.
All right.
She doesn't know who Kevin Smith is.
Of course I know who Kevin Smith is. You made me even go to his comic book store.
Silent Bob.
Yes. Akizuki, oh my god.
What?
Look what she's doing.
Oh god.
She likes to get herself involved.
Well, anyway. So shall we talk about that thing that you want to talk about?
Yes.
So, CD Projekt Red's Cyberpunk 2070. Was it 2077?
2077.
Yeah. They've just announced that there will be some character customization options, shall we say?
Yeah.
On the character generation screen that most games don't have. What are they, Rita?
Well...
Let's just... Yeah, go on. You
No, you go.
Well, do you know when I was talking about the Fallout 4 mods a couple of weeks ago, and how when I was trying to find cosmetic mods for my character, it was really difficult trying to find not just a good cosmetic mod, but any mods that didn't involve tits the size of Uranus and massive penises.
Yeah.
Well, you're going to be able to do all of that right from the get-go when generating your character in Cyberpunk 2077.
For males, it's very simple, but for females...
What?
Will it be... I'm trying to not go too vulgar about it.
Don't worry about that. Don't worry about that. Fill your boots, go on.
I mean, you taught me a couple interesting words.
Oh, this is going to be my fault now.
Will it be like a badly packed kebab?
A badly packed kebab.
Will it be like can you customize that?
What's a badly packed kebab?
Yeah, I don't know. I'm not going to specify that.
Let's see in the comments if anybody knows what a badly packed kebab is.
Oh, it's like Zoidberg.
Just imagine, just imagine a doner kebab in a pita bread. Right? You fold the pita bread up and you look at the right. What does that remind you of? That's a badly packed kebab.
A bearded clam.
I don't think those. I think it's like booty, breasts. And one-eyed, purple-headed, spitting trouser snake.
Yeah. But I'm wondering if they will, add all those options.
I don't think so. I'm sure somebody will mod it.
Yes.
If you absolutely must.
Yes. For sure. You go first.
The thing is, but I used to play Cyberpunk 2020, the pen and paper role-playing game from Artel Saurian Gamers, way back in the day, and there were all kinds of source books that came out. And Susie's cleaning her claws. Okay, good girl. And there's you could do that sort of thing in the original pen and paper RPG.
What?
You could get enhancements.
Oh, all right.
Down there.
All right. Do you know this is going to be the gaming version of overcompensating.
Oh, absolutely.
Yes.
Just look at anybody playing Fallout 4 in Skyrim.
Yes, like you will see, but you'll see in the multiplayer someone who's packing it.
Somebody that looks like he's carrying a beach ball in his pants.
No, someone's carrying like something like a shrimp, and that guy is.
Well, they're going to go the other way.
Yes, because if the guy is not overcompensating, you know that the player must be.
You women are such simpletons.
The worse the car, the better. Let's just change subject.
But yeah, you could do this in the actual game. Multiple source books got published, and reference guides and expansions and new rule sets. And there was one based around cosmetic enhancements. There was a rocker in Cyberpunk 2020, a non-player character called... God, I can't believe how bad his name sounds now. He's called Johnny Silverhand.
Sounds alright.
He was a rock star and he had a cybernetic arm. That's why he called himself Johnny Silverhand. And I actually wrote a campaign for my players where they were working as bodyguards, not for Johnny Silverhand himself, but for the talent agency that had him as a client. And my players were working as bodyguards for a bunch of fashion models, cybernetic fashion models. One of them ended up being assassinated, and of course, why the hell would anybody want to shoot? I can't think of the name of the supermodel, but you get the idea. And obviously, she was sleeping with somebody who talked in their sleep, and there was stuff that was. She knows too much, she has to die, and so the investigation then led them to Mexico City, where there was a civil war going on, and I dropped a nuke on them.
You nerd.
Well, I know. Nerds. Yeah. None of my players have ever been nuked before. But yeah, we nuked Mexico City in the middle of that campaign. But yeah, the source book that I got all of the background information on was all to do with cosmetic enhancements. Not just eye colour enhancements down there, and all sorts of stuff that didn't really have any intrinsic combat value, but could change how people thought about it. I like what they're doing about that in Cyberpunk 2077, by the way. You might have seen some of the big, like, 50-minute long gameplay reveal that came out like a year ago.
I just got focused in those vulgar news.
But in the video, they go to do a trade with a bunch of gang members who were all cyberneticized up the arsehole.
Yeah.
Most of their faces are just consisted of, just like optical arrays and so on and so on. And that was a thing in Cyberpunk, because you could have cybernetic enhancements that looked perfectly normal. So it wasn't obvious, but that was more expensive. And it's kind of like the grunge movement in the 90s, rebelling against how fashionable and sleek everything was in the 80s. And so the same thing happened it didn't, because it was wasn't real, it's just a game. In Cyberpunk, you'd get gangs who deliberately went out of their way to make themselves look as metal as possible. But that reduces your humanity.
Yeah.
There's more metal than meat in you, and you start to basically become
less
a bit
human.
of a psycho, less human.
Yeah.
You're looking down at all the meat around you, and you just want to keep adding more metal to your body.
Okay.
So I'm curious. I suspect there probably will be, because they've gotten the original game's designer involved, and you can. I hope so. I hope they put the system in where you can augment yourself and tool yourself up with cybernetic implants. But the more you do it, the more powerful you become, the more you lose your humanity, and you run a risk of going local. But anyway, yeah.
I can't wait for that game to be out.
I don't know. They reckon it will still be out this year.
Okay, all right.
I'll wait. Just when it's ready.
As much time as they
me.
need, quite honestly, yeah.
Yeah. Anyway, moving on. Just wanted to talk briefly about people sending their replays in. Somebody sent a replay in the other week where they did over 400,000 damage in World of Warships.
You showed me that, yeah.
Yeah, and it was like, holy shit. I mean, 400,000. 250,000 damage. Oh, Zhu's trying to scratch at the window again. Zhu.
I think she sees a birdie or something. Then let me out! Let me out!
Can you hear that? She's scratching at the glass.
Juju.
Zhu.
Juju.
Zhu. Papi's trying to work Zhu. Big face like, huh, what? Me? Yes, Susie, you. There she goes again.
You want me to take her away?
We'll edit this out.
You're right. Let me just move her a little bit. Come on, little chonka. Oh, my hefty chonka. Oh, she just wants love and attention. Come on, hefty chonka.
She's being a bit frisky.
She is.
What's that, Rita?
Nothing.
Rita, by the way, when we were discussing what we were drinking, and I said, I'm on Bud Light, she said, I'll just have a cup of coffee.
I drank all the coffee. I drank all the coffee.
Yeah, I'll just drink coffee. I don't want anybody to think I'm an alcoholic.
Yeah. It's at Tongue Fest, people usually bring me alcohol that lasts almost a year.
Juicy. Never work with children or animals.
Wow.
So anyway, yeah, 400,000 damage. I don't know if I've ever featured a battle where somebody did 400,000 damage in World of Warships before. I think I might have, but it's so incredibly rare. It's a ridiculous amount of damage to do, and it's so rare that I can't remember if it's ever happened before. I mean, I'm sure people have scored 400,000 damage games, but I mean, I don't know that I've ever featured one before. And so when I saw the damage total and I had a look at the post-battle results, absolutely, this I need to see. Unfortunately, the player concerned, who will remain nameless, was being an utter cock in chat. And I don't just mean, oh God, you lot suck, blah. No, he was just being really toxic. And yeah, sorry, I can't use it. I won't use it. I mean, I could use it, but I'm not going to.
I mean, just imagine people in the comment section.
Well, it's not just that. I mean, yeah, sure. I mean, Jingles promoting toxic gameplay, and they'd be right. I mean, I don't care how much damage you've done if you can't keep a civil tongue in your head. And I appreciate that when you see some of the boneheaded things your teammates are doing, it's frustrating. But if you can't keep your mouth shut about it, at least in game chat, don't bother sending the replay in, because I just won't use it. So yeah, it's just the way it is, I'm afraid. Oh yeah, so with all the fuss about the Nintendo Switch lately,
yes,
mentioning PC gaming news last week, the week before, there's some game that basically every news article was about it, because there's, I can't even remember the name. Or something
cartoonish game.
Cartoony or whatever.
I forgot the name.
Yeah,
I
I
know
can't
what
even
you
remember the name either, but I'm sure you all know which one
Yeah.
I'm talking about. I thought, you know what? I'll get a Nintendo Switch. I mean, how expensive can it be? It's a handheld gaming console, yeah? Fucking hell. They're more expensive than PlayStation 4s.
How much in the UK?
I can't remember the price, but I remember looking at it and thinking, that's
More
more
than
expensive.
Oculus?
That's more expensive. Yeah, yes.
What?
Yeah, more than an Oculus Rift.
Wow.
It was something like £400 or more. Absolutely ridiculous. So I thought, yeah, I can live without a Nintendo Switch. I've got the PlayStation 4, I've got the PC. I don't know why I needed one, but absolutely absurd. And I was looking at the prices of graphics cards the other day as well, because I've got a GTX 1080. It's not a 1080 Ti. It's perfectly acceptable even by today's standards. It's a couple of years old now. I'm not sure exactly how old, 2, maybe 3 years since I bought it.
About that, yes.
But it works. The games that I play don't need anything better. I only have a monitor that runs at 1080p anyway, 1920 by 1080, so I don't need a 4K gaming capable graphics card. And the 1080 could do 4K anyway, I think. Not that it matters, because I don't have a monitor that supports that kind of resolution. But I thought I'll have a look and see how much these RTX graphics cards are, because they've been out a while now. The price should have dropped. Oh my god!
I think it's also because of cryptocurrency still.
What?
Cryptocurrency.
Yeah, I know what they are, but I don't see what it's got to do with the price of graphics cards.
Yeah, because people use those to mine.
Oh.
Yes, so the price of the GPU skyrocketed when
Is cryptocurrency still a thing?
Apparently so.
You don't hear about it anymore.
Yeah. I mean, I think it was 2-3 years ago there was a massive crash. Like there was it skyrocketed and then a massive crash.
It's like any bubble. You don't know you're in a bubble until it crashes. Nobody in the bubble can see it.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, I could get an RTX 1060, which wouldn't be that much better than my 1080 GTX 1080, and that's like £250 to £350 depending on how many cores it has, how much RAM it has, and who you get it from. But the RTX 2080 Ti, guess how much?
I haven't seen the prices in a while.
£1,500.
Yeah, doesn't surprise me.
I paid less than that for the PC with the GTX 1080 in it, and that's £1,500 just for the graphics card. Fucking hell, who needs that? I mean, maybe NASA.
I think NASA can make their own.
Whoa! Does anybody out there actually have one of those? And if you do, what the fuck do you need it for? I mean, so you can get ray trace shadows in Minecraft or World of Warcraft. I don't know. Anyway. Oh, yes. I got an email from... do you remember when we went to the Norfolk Tank Museum?
Yes, yes.
I have a video up of our visit to the Norfolk Tank Museum. Tank Museum, which is in Norfolk and has tanks. Hence the name, Norfolk Tank Museum. It's a pain in the arse to get. Well, it's a pain in the arse to get to from here. I don't know what public transport and rail links are like wherever you lot live, but in the UK, if you're heading north to south, actually north to south or south to north, it's great. She's going hunting, Susie. Oh, Susie's not going to like it. Yeah, but if you're travelling east to west or west to east, oh my god! And from Portsmouth to Norfolk is basically
it's a pain.
East.
It's about 12-13 hours of trip back and forth.
Yeah, there and back. It's a bloody nightmare. But the trip was definitely good because the museum's great. It's tiny, and the amount of stuff that they've got packed in. There's got like 6 or 7 tanks inside this one, basically garage, and weapons displays, and all of the vehicles that they have are operational. Well, they've got the chance to buy. It needs some serious restoration, but a Challenger 1 prototype.
All right.
And
I heard about it.
Yeah. So there's a Challenger. I've seen the pictures of it, and if you have a look at the link in the video description, you can see the pictures of it. It's they reckon, which is quite surprising. It's brace yourself when you hear the number. It's big, but we're talking tank restoration. It's not actually that much. They reckon it's going to cost them £60,000 to fully restore, to working order, this Challenger 1. And they need help. So if you've got a few quid to spare, link in the video description to, I don't know if it's a Kickstarter or a GoFundMe. I think it's a GoFundMe for the cats are going crazy out there, chasing each other around the hallway. To the Norfolk Tank Museum's project to restore a Challenger 1 prototype. And if you get the opportunity to visit them, also link down below where you can find them, because turning up at the museum and paying for an entrance ticket, which I didn't think was that expensive. It was like £8 for an adult or something like that.
I have a photo somewhere or a video. I'll have to check it up.
Obviously, turn up to the museum and paying to get in will also help them raise the money that they need to buy this and restore this Challenger 1. So, yeah, good stuff. Always happy to help out the smaller tank museums in need. And I think that about covers it.
Yeah, it's been a very slow week.
Yeah, it's been a very slow week for the last 8 weeks, Rita.
Not this week particularly. You've been kind of falling asleep most days. in the middle of the day?
Who, me?
Just very quiet this week.
If you say so. I don't remember. Then again, I wouldn't remember. I would have been asleep.
Yeah.
There is that actually does make sense. That's quite logical.
We started taking old man naps.
Oh God. Well, I'm not getting any younger, am I? I'm 50. That's all right. I know. I only look 60. So I guess that's it. Now the question is, do I leave that bit in at the beginning, or do I say that's it for this week? We'll take care and we'll catch you next time, and then leave it as a blooper at the end. I don't know why I'm saying that, because you'll already know. You'll either have seen it or not.
Oh my God! Grab that. They almost knocked that thing over. That's why.
Yeah, but they didn't.
Yes. Kitty, Akizuki. They are so mischievous. they just want to play.
Cats, contrary to popular belief, are not nocturnal creatures. They are crepuscular creatures, which means sunrise and sunset is when they're most active. The sun's going down.
Yeah. Maybe we need to time this a bit better.
So these two are having a crazy half hour. Anyway, that is definitely it. Run out of things to talk about. I'd just like to thank everybody, by the way, who continues to support me on Patreon and who may be watching this on Floatplane. Bringing this up because I've got to go away and fill out my tax return now.
Oh no, the time of the year.
First couple of years on YouTube, I never had to fill out a tax return. Most Americans are probably going to find this astonishing, because I think most Americans actually fill out their own tax returns. But here in the UK, your employer does it for you. In fact, your tax comes out of your pay before you get paid. A system called pay as you earn.
Yep.
So tax is deducted at the point of pay, and you don't have to worry about an annual tax return. But I'm self-employed. I don't have an employer, well, other than YouTube, who would deny that they were my employer and insist that I was just a contractor, which allows them to wash their hands of any responsibility for me. So it was fine for the first 2-3 years of YouTube, because I wasn't earning enough money to qualify to pay tax. But now I have to have an accountant, and they want all of my financial details for the last year. So thank you everybody who supports me on Patreon and is watching this video on Floatplane. Cheers guys. Is that it?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's it. Take care folks.
See you guys.
Catch you next time.